Hi guys, I would like to share my amazing lavender harvest. So this is my lavender. It is English lavender and I live in Massachusetts. As you probably know, lavender repels all sorts of bugs that we don't like, from moths, fleas, flies and mosquitoes. And it has been used for many centuries because of the amazing fragrance, and it can kind of give this nice smell to your clothing. So it's great to put it in drawers or sticky shoes. So I harvest my lavender for the flowers and I make little sachets. I will show you towards the end of the video. I was, I think, smart to plant it right next to our driveway. It means it gets warmer in winter. I put rocks around it and I mixed sand with the soil when I planted them. I also don't hesitate to prune them really well, almost two-thirds of the top. They do say that you shouldn't trim the woodsy part, but however, I did that few times and then the lavender came back nice and bushy. I don't use any fertilizers, but I do think that you don't need much for lavender, really. So this is my garden just before I harvested it. I do have it on the edge of my vegetable herb garden. I'm pretty happy. So I prepared some string to use. When I'm not in a frugal mood, I use cotton. I did try to use elastics as well, however, they deteriorate and are not as practical. So I just use whatever 16-inch piece of string and I cut the lavender itself. I keep it in one hand and then I tie the string around it. I do make sure I have at least maybe 12 inches on one side of the string so I can eventually tie it to my drying rack. You will see later. So it is pretty easy to do. The important part is to pick the right timing. I do like to cut my lavender, which I'm harvesting for the flowers, just before it opens up. That's when the essential oils are supposed to be the strongest. I also like to do it first thing in the morning. In this case, I did that in the morning just before we had pretty severe rainstorm, and that was good timing. I was a little rushed. But anyhow, I just wanted to share that growing lavender is super easy. There are some conditions that work well for it, but the most important part, I think, really is great sunny location, sandy soil, and definitely not be afraid trimming it. The timing is right after flowering, and I will, by the way, get second harvest, which is not as rich, but I will get more buds and flowers. I'm pretty excited. So here are two short videos. This is my lavender before I cut it, before I harvested it, and the second one is right after. It is kind of sad looking and I definitely miss it. However, I will have second harvest and it's the best thing for the lavender to really prune it well. I can definitely admit that this is my favorite gardening chore because it smells so nice and it is very satisfying. It's also pretty flower that is very useful, and I love the fact that none of the animals we have in the area eat it. So once I tied the lavender together, I do about maybe 1 inch. I put them on wooden rods. It's an old cane and dowel. I kind of keep little distance, maybe 2-3 inches in between, so I hang them upside down and I hope for the best. No, and then I put them in my attic, which is nice and dark and incredibly dry. And I hang up both of the rods and it's fantastic. It works really great for me. And the best part is that I'm most likely keeping away unwanted guests from our attic in the form of bugs, probably mice as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video of kind of sharing my tips how to grow and harvest lavender. And these are the sachets I make. It's fantastic that I can use any kind of leftover fabrics and It is pretty easy beginner sewing, really. They do last a very long time, and I like to put them in drawers with underwear, socks, any clothing, and stinky shoes. They do really work well, actually. So thank you for watching, Hana Made. I hope I inspired you a little bit. If you feel like it, join me on Facebook or Instagram. Thank you for watching, Hana Made.